iron in the soul. What's up, YouTube? This is your big brother King Jabez, back to say another very important message. Please subscribe to my channel, like this video, share this video, leave a comment, let me know what you think about my content. In addition to that, please feel free to follow me over on Instagram at The King Jabez, as well as my website, theyardandsoul.com. Whatever you decide to do, it will be greatly appreciated. Let's do some work. We're going to dive a little deeper today, and we're going to talk about 7 ways the devil is talking to you. So I want to make a very strong statement like that. I want to back it up with some teaching. So this will be biblical, give you a bit of a warning. This is not necessarily a Bible study. I don't want to get a type of tone or presentation of this message, but I want to have a real talk to give real solutions. And I have to tell you what I believe. And I got to be honest with my audience. I often hold back the depth of Bible knowledge that I have. I'm going to be honest. I don't want to run my audience off if I come across as hyper spiritual or religious, which is what I'm against personally. I'm all for spirituality. I'm against people being overly religious and giving a misrepresentation of God. And that will be one of the 7 ways today, by the way, that the devil talks to you. So I'm going to give you a biblical teaching today. This is my background. I know a lot about this. And so I'm going to give you what I think will help. And so let's get right into this. So when we talk about hometown spirits, we're talking about, of course, demons, plural. So some of the spirits of your hometown, ready for this? Jealousy, envy, familiarity. That's a big one. They get so familiar with you, they refuse to accept you for who you are. And this is exactly why Jesus, or Yeshua, the Messiah, couldn't do certain miracles in his hometown, because they were too familiar with him. They refused to see him in the spirit, and they only saw him in the natural. And so you have these spirits that try to talk to you. And this is the first one because it's so dangerous, because you're familiar with this. You've been around these spirits, if you are like most of us, anywhere from age 0 to about 18. So these demons had 18 years to work on you. So he has been talking to you that way. Now, when I say devil, I really mean demons, because the devil is one individual spirit. And I don't believe that most people actually have an attack from Satan himself. Those are for your really high-ranking people in the spirit realm. But most of us people each day, we get attacks from demons. And so these are demons or spirits that have had mind control over you by making you feel basic. You know, you're mediocre. This is stuff people say when they have those hometown spirits. You're mediocre, you're basic, you're mid. They're consistently trying to make you feel like you're not as called and gifted by God as you are. So one of the primary ways that the devil's going to talk to you will be through these hometown spirits or familiar spirits. Number 2, the devil will try to talk to you through intrusive thoughts. Now I'm going to read a verse for you on this one. John 13 and verse 2. And supper being ended, the devil, having now put into the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, to betray him. So this second way can happen to any human. This is when the enemy plants, like a farmer planting seeds. He plants these thoughts in your mind. And those thoughts can lead to crazy actions. So many of you right now, you are battling this particular warfare, spiritual warfare, in your mind. This is where the strongholds are created. I taught something called Stronghold class. I told you I've been holding back. I'm going to just go ahead and tell you who I am now. I'm tired of not really lying to you, but I'm just be honest. This is who I am. I taught a class called Stronghold class for about 5 years. And so strongholds are when really demons have these places in your life where they rule you. They're destroying you. Strongholds can be drugs, alcohol, immorality, looking at porn on your phone. It could be deep, dark depression. You know, these are the very things that can create these intrusive thoughts. And this is what led Judas to betray the Messiah. This is a very powerful way that the devil and demons speak to people. He gets in your head. And so for many of you, from a spiritual perspective, you've learned this through spirituality to get outside of yourself. You got to be careful being trapped in the prison of your own mind. That's why it's important to hear other people's thoughts, to experience the perspective of other people and get insight, to get guidance. You don't want to be trapped in your own mind. That's a very dangerous place to be. So the second way that the devil talks to people is through those intrusive thoughts. Number 3, and this is one that really irritates your big brother, the religious spirit. I really hate this one because what it does is it presents God in a way that's not accurate. And there are a lot of people online doing it today. I'm not going to get to names. You figure out yourself. And that, I'll be honest, that bothers me, bro. I'm a long-time student of the Word of God. Okay. I started studying formally. I'm looking at my notes. I got these old notebooks from years ago. I came across this today, by the way, this old notebook. And I started studying the Bible formally in 2006. So I'm not a rookie when it comes to this. Not saying I know everything, but I do this. And this one here really bothers me. People start quoting the Bible and talking about God, and they present him in a way that's not accurate. And what this does is it makes people hate God because it's very rigid, judgmental, hateful. And this is a number one sign, by the way. If you want to gauge anybody's talk concerning God, what is their love? The measure of their love. In other words, God is love. And so when you have a consistent absence of that, that is a sign of religious spirit. If you see someone always talking about God, 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 and their life is they're hateful, they're mean, they're cruel, they're judgmental, I'm going to be honest, that's not God. That's a demon that's talking to you about God in a false way. And that is a strong way that the devil talks to people. He wants to make God this being that you don't like, right? Because if you don't like him, why would you talk to him, right? Why would you pray? Why would you read his book? Why would you talk to other people about him? So this is a very powerful attack against the true Elohim, God himself. Number 4, he will talk to you through your idols. In ancient Israel, the Hebrews, they would literally have idols in certain temples or in their homes. And these were what they looked to as their gods, lowercase, G-O-D-S. Whenever you see gods, G-O-D-S, lowercase, in the Old Testament, not every case, but it's often referring to a demon or demons plural. So what happens today, we don't necessarily have idols, but we have them in or physical idols, we have them in our hearts. And these idols can become people. These idols can become an addiction. It becomes something that you rely on to get you through life more than you do God. And it becomes this idol in your heart, and it speaks to you. It guides you. It gives you inspiration. And we have to be careful with idolizing people. We can respect people. We can learn from others. That's smart. We can be inspired by people. Nipsey Hussle said this: inspiration is a gift to the world. So when you inspire people, that's powerful. So we're not speaking against receiving inspiration or guidance. We all need that. We're humans. We get inspiration through music. We get it through art, through laughter, through excellent work, through art, various forms of inspiration. We're not talking about that. But when we get to a point where an individual or a culture or something becomes more important to us than God, then that has become an idol. And that is a very powerful way that the devil is talking to you. Number 5, marine spirits. Now, marine spirits, this is a demonic kingdom that rules certain cities, and they are often placed by large bodies of water. Cities such as Chicago, LA, New Orleans, some of these islands. And these marine spirits are literally high-ranking devils that rule over whole cities. And they manifest often through violence, through immorality. Some of the very issues you see in these cities. Look at Chicago. Look at LA. Look at New Orleans. Look at New York City. These activities are not happening because these are just crazy people. Okay? It's way deeper than that. So I want to challenge you to do a research on marine spirits. These are spirits that operate from bodies of water. And the reason that is so bad is because water is a symbol of life. And so these devils are so defiant against God that they use the very substance that he gives us for life to cause evil. Think about that. Water is supposed to be a good thing. It's how we survive. And so these spirits operate from the waters as a way to mock God and to really attack humanity. So some of you right now, you're being talked to through the demons of your city. Look at the culture. Okay? Peep game. Look at the culture of Atlanta. Look at the culture of LA. Look at what's going on where you live at. Some of you people who live in these islands. And you go say, you know what, big bro? That's what's happened to me. And if you're not careful, you get sucked right into it and it can take over your life. Number 6, and this is one that might surprise you. He talks to you through your own fears. The devil or demons can't taunt you with something that you're not already afraid of. So this is why we're told to remove fear from our hearts. God's not giving us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. You see, confusion, turmoil in mind. Many of us, if you're honest with yourself, you are in chaos in your mind. It's not a judgment. I'm saying that as calm as I can as your big brother, right? You're tormented in your mind. And the devil will come right alongside you and speak to that. You know, you're sitting there, oh, you're afraid. He's like, yeah, you're afraid, right? You see what I'm saying? You just think about you picturing these fears in your mind. You're going through stuff. Sometimes these are your own thoughts. So every time you get a bad thought, it's not necessarily a devil. Sometimes those are just your thoughts as a person, and he'll come right alongside or spirit and add volume to it. And so now your fears are talking to you, as opposed to faith and guidance from the Most High Himself. So I want to challenge you to not live a life of fear. There are so many bad things happening right now that if we're not careful, our whole lives will be based on fear. Fear of financials, health, relationships. There's a lot of panic going on right now on the earth, right? And we can't deny that. So our own fears can be a very powerful way that demons talk to us. And number 7, and last, he speaks to you through false religion, through the occult. That's what that's really all about. The occult and false religion is about giving you a entertaining, powerful, helpful, yet demonic alternative to who God is. So the occult is speaking to many people today, giving you guidance, telling you how to live your life, right? And they often use their wealth and status to do this, because if they didn't have the wealth and status, you wouldn't even listen to them. So you allow these people to speak into your lives and to plant at times witchcraft, necromancy, and other demonic thoughts right into your spirit because it looks good. You look at the outward appearance, they dress well, they got a lot of money, the cars, the house, the jewelry, and they're able to just position themselves right next to you and talk to you and guide you right through life down the wrong path. So that's what I have for you today. Those are 7 ways that the devil and demons talk to people. I think that was helpful for you. This is your big brother, King Jabez. Thanks for listening. God bless. Peace.